Hello guys, welcome back to my laboratory where safety is #1 priority. Okay, today's video we are actually going to speed run more development in my graphical user interface for the xlive background software. And in order to do so, I need to, well, I'll just show you the code. As you can see up here, I have a couple things. I have a few paths defined, and those aren't good. Those are absolute paths, and I don't want those to be absolute paths. I want these to be something that I can that I can create on the fly. I apologize for my congestedness, but essentially I want to follow the XDG base directory specification such that I can pull in some things like the XDG config, XDG cache. These variables here, or these constants, and use them as paths that I can append to for my application. If that doesn't make sense, maybe you'll get a better understanding if I actually go through and try and implement this. So this is going to be as speedrunning as I can do. How to get pull environment variables. Okay. I don't think this is really environment variables. Actually. So, okay, so I have I have these here. What if I take this, I yank that, and want to create the main window, or like when ready, process.end. Can I console.log this? Is this the thing that I could do if I run this now? npm start. So, okay, nothing gets printed. Oh wait, yes it does. Yes it does, that's great, awesome. So that's easier than I thought it would be. Let me do that, okay. So, we have this, no. There we go. I like having my master on the right side of my screen when it's the main screen. I like having it on the left when it's on my secondary monitor. I should change that actually, but I'm not going to do that now. This is fine. So we have this, and we're able to pull that. So we're going to do if and if this exists, this is going to be basically saying if you find something under this this member of env, so xdg config.home, if that's an actual variable, then we can do that. And delete that word. Yeah, we'll actually just take that and we're going to paste that there. So we now have the config path, but that's not good enough because xlive background might not exist, and this isn't actually what we want. We want to do path.join and take this, and we want to join this with xlive background because we want the xlive background directory in our config file. So once we have that, what do we do? So else if, because maybe that doesn't exist. Maybe that doesn't exist, but maybe the home directory does exist. Maybe the home directory does exist. So console.log this yank in brackets, and then we do that. We console.log that just to see if it does exist. Well, I don't know. I just like having the visual confirmation. It's not necessary. It's very not necessary. That's okay. If we have that, then we can do config / xlivebg. Yes. So, okay, there we go. And we also want to set this equal to that. We want xlivebg configuration path to be this, because if this exists, then it'll be set to this. If this exists, then it'll be set to this, and those should equate to the exact same thing. So that's what I'm looking for. But else please set your home environment variable idiot, or at least set your, or even better, set your XDG config home. So we're going to do that. And how do we test this? Well, it should be fairly straightforward. As you can see here, console.log, we have XDG config home. And then in here, I already know what this is going to print out, so we're going to do we have just home. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my bash RC. Can I unset stuff? If I can I unset home, unset XDG config home. Does that work? Echo XDG config home. Yeah, nothing. Okay. So now if I run npm start, we still have the home. Maybe it sets home when I start this. So we do have home. Echo. Weird. Yeah, maybe in this environment when we start it up, it defines home. So I think we're always going to have home, which is good. But if I source my bash RC, now I try to run it. Oh. What? Echo XDG config home. Okay, now we have that. Now we're going to go back into our GUI, and we're going to npm start, and we have the XDG config home. Okay, so that's great. So that's awesome. That's what we wanted, and that wasn't that hard. So now what? Now we see that we have this, we make it, and then we make this. I guess those console logs are useful for debugging purposes. Return, because we don't want to continue with this app if we don't even have the home defined. Because every time we do this, we should have the home defined. It's weird if it isn't. So okay. we have this. I want to, okay, if this doesn't exist, I don't want to get a list of entries. I just want to get the entry of the directory. Maybe I use a read file. No, I don't use a read file. We use a read directory. So I'm going to redirectory JavaScript. I don't want to get like all of the entries in the directory. I just want to get the directory itself. There's like a piece of sand on my desk or something. It's really driving me crazy because it's scratching my mouse, and I really hate it. Check if directory exists. JavaScript Electron. I just won't use my mouse anymore. How about that? How about that? Screw you, mouse. Dead. Dead and gone. It's a good thing I have Vimium. So, okay, how do you check if a file exists sync? I have a keyboard. If I hold function on my keyboard, I can use PL semicolon quotation as if they are WASD and move my mouse around like that, so that's useful. But I don't need it necessarily. With the FS module, you can do this. Actually, it is useful if I just want to. fs.exists. So we go back here. If fs.exists, and we want to check xlivebg on path. Console.log, it exists. We want to do that. Else not existent. That's what I want to see. That's really what I want to see. npm start. Exists is not a function. fs dot. So that isn't. That isn't a thing that exists. Okay. Well. Check if file exists. I guess I could just try and read the file and see if the file exists. Oh wait. Okay, so we do try and read the file already. Now what we want to do is, instead of console.logging error, we create. Yeah, we just want to create the the directory and the No, but I do want to first check if the directory exists. That would be... That's dumb. I don't want to have this. That's got to be old. It's got to be really old. Electron.js check if directory exists. I don't have fs defined to this. Same thing, I think. What the heck? What the heck, dude? What the heck? Fs dot. You don't exist. Why don't you exist? Exist sync. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. I do want to see, okay, so config.json doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, then but at first I do want to check if all right, bye. I don't want to have to do this, but I guess I will do this. If this exists, then we do. Oh, I'm dumb. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. If it exists, then we want to do this. And else we know that the file doesn't exist. Config directory doesn't exist in .config. I want to make it. fs.make it. So that's good. Then we do xlib config path. Okay, so we do that. And then not only do we want that, we also want to make the config.json. If we fs.make, I want to make a file too. How do I make a file? Probably that right there. We make the file and I don't want this anymore. I actually want xlivebg. I want path.join xliveconf path, and I also want to throw in config.json because we're making a JSON file. And what we're going to do here is just empty string for now. So if I go into my config directory, move xlivebg.old, and we try and run npm start, we have XDG config home. Okay, great. Let's pick our xlive background. Documents, coding, C, xlive background. This is the one, and we save it. Folders now, so we have, okay, so yeah, we have that. So what happened? Did we create it? Did we create it? So we got .config. Yeah, we created a new one. Okay. Config.json. Where am I setting the, oh geez, where am I setting the data for this? Data. New choice equals data.data. Yes, new choice execute sync. Okay, yeah. Config context. Okay, yeah. Oh, we're writing it to xlivebg.conf. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So you have xlivebg.conf. Join. Process.env. XDG config home xlivebg.conf. I think that's what we want, right? npm start. No, is that not what we want? What do you say? No, I want process.env. Process.env. Oh, we're missing that. We're missing that. Wait, no, we're not. We're not missing that. What am I talking about? XDG config home. Process.env. JavaScript error occurred. Missing something. Oh, that's up here where I'm writing nothing. Yeah, okay, so I need a comma back here. I thought it was the other call to the right. So if I do that now, if I open xlive background here and I save, okay, so that's doing what I want now, and that's no problem. We're writing the file. In this config file, we actually want a few different things. So eventually, I will want the ability to store different parameters and stuff inside the config.json, but right now, what is the config.json for? cd.config xlivebg. Do I store anything in config.json? Config.json. No. Okay, so there's what I'm working with and what I'm creating. What I'm working with is the pre-existing software called xlivebg, and that has its own config file, and that config file is read by the system through xlivebg, and that's written in C and stuff, and I don't want to mess with that. I can mess with that. I can change it and make a fork and do what I want with it, but I don't really want to do that. I just want to have it as its standalone application and make a wrapper for it, kind of. So there will be a config.xlivebg.conf in the config file folder, and there will also be my own directory that houses my own config stuff that will interact with xlivebg. So what I want to do today is just get that XDG standard thing happening, so that I'm not just pulling absolute paths. I'm actually, am I using this anywhere? Oh yeah, another thing, okay. In that config file that I'm making, the config.json, I also want to store my path to xlivebg. So whenever the user opens up their thing, they don't constantly have to enter in the path in which xlivebg is installed in their system. So inside xlivebg, conf.path, okay, yes, that's great. So we're creating the file, we're making the directory. That's what we want, and on top of that we want read file catch. Okay, yeah. Okay, so once we window all close, no, when setup done. When the setup is done, then that's when we want to, actually no, when is it? Select plugin? No, it's select xlivebg path. This is where this, correct me, I need to correct myself. I should speak only when I've thought of my words, but okay, so here you can save the config file, and that's what I'm going to do. So path saved, we said path saved, and yeah, that's it. And inside our thing, inside our other place where we read the file, where is that? Write file. It's actually write file. We want to write to the config.json. And that would be cool. So yeah, here, that's what I want to do. I should really use marks more often in Vim, because what I could do is make a mark and put it here, and then go back up here to this, and then put another mark, and then I could just go between those two marks like that. I can explain what I'm doing. I pressed MA to make a mark named A over here, and then at S I put a mark S by doing MS in normal mode. And how I can traverse those is I could just press the single quote A and single quote S, and I can go between those two marks. That's pretty useful. You can also do that with capital letters for your marks instead of lowercase letters, and that will do file wide, like system wide marks. So if you're in a completely different file, you can traverse to that capital letter mark, and it'll open that file at that place that you made it. And that's pretty cool. So over here, I'm writing to the file. The file exists because we made it at the start of this program, but I guess we shouldn't like assume that it still exists. I will just for now. So I'll make a note to do check if the file exists before writing to it. And path. Maybe goober user deleted it mid execution. So we're gonna write to that file. And what are we gonna write? We're going to write the path. Actually, I want to write something in a JSON format because this is JSON. So we're gonna do that, and we're going to do, what is it? What is it that we want to do? We want to do, shoot. Well, it'll be the xlivebg path. It'll be the xlivebg path that we have. Okay, so if we have that, and that's all good, then what we can do is once we start up the application, we can check if that xlivebg path exists. So settings.json, read file, xlivebg conf path. Read the config.json, settings equals, and then we have has config path set up. I'm reading that from, yes, okay, so has config path set up. I used to have a directory in the xlivebg directory, the one that I didn't make, and I created a file that was this config.json, and I have since moved it to this new directory, which is in my .config folder, which, you know, it keeps a logical separation between those two entities. The stuff that I'm making and the stuff that I haven't made that I'm just taking advantage of. So we have config.json, and we're getting the settings from that config.json. And I think that's all we need to do, really. If I go here and if I go into config, cd xlivebg, and then config.json, we don't have anything. But if we now npm start and we run this and we browse and we go to our xlivebg, no, not that one. We go to our xlivebg installation. We select this. We save it. Path.join is not a function. That's a lie. Path.join is in fact a function. Get plugins. No, we don't want it there. We actually wanted save xlivebg path. Path.join. Yes. Oh. Wait. No, that's what we want. That's what we want. Path.join. Maybe I should make that its own separate function. The checking of the xlivebg thing existing. Check if config exists. Yeah. And we'll make this function async. Check if config exists. So we do that, and then we await check if config exists. So this will actually, if conf doesn't exist, create it along with the directory in XDG config home. I actually want to do this properly. XDG config home, yeah, G uppercase U, make that all capital. Okay. So we check it. Let me just run through this code one more time. If we have XDG config home, we make the config path that. If we don't have it, we make that. If set your their home environment variable, which should be set already. It would be weird if that wasn't set. FSS exists sync. We check if the config path exists, that directory, the config directory, and if it does exist, then we try and read that. And if we read that, we can make the settings, the JSON that we find in there. If we fail, we log the error. If the directory doesn't exist, then we make the directory and we also write the file config.json, and we don't put anything in it. Okay. So now, is this working like I want it to work? I don't think so. I don't think we changed what we wanted to change. I don't think we did what we needed to do. But let me just check. Okay, we did that. We should get an error. Yeah, path.join is not a function. And that's happening at 167 shift G, path.join, conf path, path.join. What is it then? It's path.join. Conf, oh, maybe that doesn't exist. So yeah, that's our to-do. That makes sense. Okay, so we don't have the config path defined yet, which is a problem. Let's see where else we make the. Okay, so it should exist. What's the problem? What's the issue? Fossil.log. We have the conf directory, and we want to xlivebg conf path. And if we make this, we select the path, which is this one right here. Select it, save it. We have the conf. Okay, so we do have it. We do have the thing. Path.join is not a function. What is the problem then? What is the problem? 172. Yeah. Path.join is not. What do you have against this? Const. Is that gonna give me an error still? Try. Let config path catch error. We'll see what the error is. Console.log error. And we're also going to set the config path equal to that. Because what the hell, dude? What the hell? What the heck? Folder set, okay. Type error path.join is not a function. We have the directory. We have the conf directory, and it's that. Path.join is not a function. What the hell? What's going on here? Require path join. That is definitely a function. What are you talking about? Not a function. It's a function. It is absolutely a function, and I've been using it this whole time and it hasn't been a problem. Read file path. Is there some syntax error that I'm not getting? That's not making sense to me? $174. This is definitely a function. I've used it millions of times. Oh man. I'm gonna end this video. That's dumb. Well, I'm actually stupid. It's because I have path here. To xlivebg path. xlivebg path. Is there anywhere else I use path? Config path. Okay. We select it. We select this. We do this. Save. So we get out of that now. Has config path set up. Settings. So if we go into cd.config, see xlive background, and then config.json. We have that in there. That's awesome. But we don't just want that. We want the we want to write the contents properly. Right. And we actually want to do the what's it called? Has config paths. What do I want to call it? Xlive background path, I guess. Xlive path. And we're going to give this double quotes because you need double quotes for JSON. And that's that. and then that's fine. That is a-okay. So we have that, and has config path setup settings dot xlivebg path. If that exists, then we create the main window. If not, then don't. So we're gonna, it doesn't exist right now. We're gonna do npm start. We're gonna go here to browse again. We're gonna go see there, create, and we created it successfully. Now if we run it again, we shouldn't have to, okay, we do. Unexpected token. We have, oh, I didn't want to delete that, but that's okay. We write to the file, we don't do it properly. We need to put these in those cd UI. We also want to go into the config and remove this because it's not formatted properly, because we need the double quotes. And now we can run npm start. We do it one more time. Hopefully this is the time that works. Boom, boom, boom. And we run it. Okay, so that works. Now we have this we could do cool stuff with, and we go back here, we run it again. We shouldn't have, and there we go. Why aren't these showing up? Get plugins error, no such file or directory. Plugins. Settings does exist. xliv settings dot, oh, if settings dot xliv background path equals settings dot x, or instead of that, what are we looking for? xliv background path equals settings dot xliv background path. If we do that, does it work now? Yes, it does. Okay, so we just didn't set the path properly. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. This is gonna be more like a VOD sort of thing. I didn't stream, but this is not really a video where I'm making a lot of sense. It's just me working. So have fun with this. All right, bye.